I'm sorry, to have, because there was a nice questioning to advocate. I never thought this matter is so complicated. But in my view, names have been mentioned. The president has suspended someone, which perhaps, maybe there's another ones who are suspended, some prosecutors, fine. But I don't think it's right, advocate. Because where to draw the line? When things are genuine or are not genuine, where do we draw the line? Because this committee sits here to probe these issues. The allegations which were made by General Mkwanazi. Hence we are here. We are not casting aspersion to anyone. But we want the truth. But if it's an animal farm, names were mentioned here. No one ever complains about names being mentioned here. It's for the first time for me, from hearing from you as a national director of public prosecution. When you talk about people's life being destroyed, I can tell you, don't go there, because he invokes pains to many South Africans who have lost their lives, others their livelihood because of the NPA. Some are still being prosecuted, for many years. Their cases are still in court. But we are going to come to those questions to you at a later stage. But for now, it was only about the name. Because the media has made those names, but we don't want to rely on the media because we are here. We don't want to have the merits of the case.
I don't want
Thank you, Chair.
to debate the question. I want to hear you. What are you saying on this matter?
I'm sticking to my earlier question. Thank you, Chair.
That the name must be revealed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. It does look like the NDPP is putting a barometer or a barrier in that they can only disclose the name of the person once that person appears before court, which I presume that she means the first appearance. Chair, given the fact that we have agreed to seek for an extension as the ad hoc committee, I think for progress' sake, let's say we will require the NDPP or anyone who will be at the helm of NPA before we consolidate the report to submit a written report specifically on that particular aspect, so that we proceed for now. But the committee must not be disadvantaged in collating necessary evidence so that that particular evidence informs what the committee finds in its findings and recommendations. So I propose, Chair, that before the committee does its winding up report, that evidence must have been sent through a written report to the committee. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Chair. No, Chair, we just want to make a clear statement that if the NDPP continues to refuse to reveal a name, it means she is not cooperating to an investigation. Because here we're not doing oversight. This is not a justice committee being chaired by Honorable Ngola, where you give annual reports. We're doing an investigation, and names have been tabled before this committee. Names of people who have not even been charged. Just names of people who do not appear before any disciplinary committee. So it means you don't have confidence in this committee. Two, you are undermining our intelligence. What adverse impact is it going to have if you tell us that a person is so and so? There will be no adverse impact other than an impact that is imaginary. We are just imagining that there will be an adverse impact if you mention names. How? So we are going to understand you to be refusing to cooperate with this committee if you refuse to give us names. Yeah, we are investigating, so you can't tell us how we should investigate. We can't be told by you. We have terms of reference. We know what we are doing here. So don't undermine our intelligence. Chair, I'm in support of what Honorable Skosana is saying, that the name must be revealed to help our investigation, to pursue our investigation, because that name might be relevant for us to take a certain posture with regards to this investigation. So you are refusing to give more insight about issues which are affecting our justice system if you refuse to give us a name. And we are not just asking from an ordinary person. You are the NTPP with a statutory responsibility to oversee the running of the NPA. And you come here and refuse to give us names as if it's a choice. It's not a choice. We're investigating you. We're investigating the allegations, I mean. And if we say give us names, unless you are telling us that you are refusing, then we're going to note it as such. We're going to write it down that you are not cooperating with this investigation. Thank you.
Honorable Malema.
Chair, NDPP must know that she's got a duty to protect this country more than individuals. You can't say, I want to protect individual because of their rights and all of that. A rotten NPA, it's very dangerous to our constitutional democracy she speaks about. A rotten NPA is dangerous to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. So you cannot protect an individual over the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Just her failure to respond to this question, she must take her bag and go. She's not going to be useful to us. We are asking names. That's why we are here. We are told there are people who kept people is names. Who are those people? We want names of drug cartels. We want names of corrupt police. We want names of corrupt judges. We want names of corrupt prosecutors. That is the whole idea of us being here. So you call a witness, when she left home, she left saying she's going to do what here? She's coming to read a policy statement in an inquiry. Yeah, we even discuss boardroom. We're discussing a pillow talk. Yeah. Yeah. That's how far we go. Now we're being told, no, just a name. We can't be given a name of a prosecutor who's suspended. I know that there is a prosecutor called Chauke in Gauteng who's put on a special leave or suspended by the President of the Republic of South Africa. It is the President who communicated that publicly. What is so difficult for an NDPP to refer to such a case and say, for instance, we've got this case that is on, but I can't give details. This is what it involves. A lot of people came here and said so. This is a public information. But to come and say, I won't give you names, even on matters that are public, that is having taken a conscious decision that I'm not going to cooperate with them and I'm going to show them that they can't do anything. She's completely undermining us. To put it mildly, she's undermining us, and she left her home having taken a decision to come and undermine us here. What is so secret about telling us about a public prosecutor of a public prosecution? Everything is public there, except when you are dealing with the case. It says I will give you a name when a person appears in court. The person that we're speaking about, for instance, Chauke, he's not going to go to court. It's an inquiry that is on. The president is investigating a particular conduct, wrongly or rightfully, I don't know. So it means we'll never hear that name Chauke in this committee because he will never have a first day appearance in a criminal court. What happens? There is an internal, inquiry that the president has constituted. The head of NPA must know about that, must be comfortable to speak about it. And the refusal to speak about such an incident is to say, I'm not going to cooperate with you. Actually, the allegations goes further, which we are going to probe later when it is our turn to ask questions. They say after they arrested advocate Chauke, they are able to register cases easily. That's what SAP says. And cases are moving smoothly in Gauteng. Is that true? We want to get into those issues, but if the head of NPA is going to shy away from that, then which issue are we going to deal with? Which we need prosecutors who are cooperating with drug cartels.
Thank you, Honorable Malema. Honorable Sauls.
Chair, indeed, advocate is required to give us names. It is true. However, it is not true that names has been given in this committee. We still don't know the names of 3 out of the big 5. Why? Because the witness stated that it is under investigation and the names will be revealed, and it can be revealed in camera, can be revealed in a closed session. So we must be honest about this, that it is true that advocate must give us the names. But the question is not must you give us the names or not. You must give us the names or name. But the question is how? Which platform? What is the requirement for you to give it in closed session? If we go by what has happened in the past in this committee, the statement was, I cannot reveal in public the names of the other 3 of the big 5, even though the committee wants to know, and that's what we are investigating. It's because it's still under investigation. You testified, advocate, that the person you are referring to is suspended, but the suspension is not connected to the allegations that you are referring to. In other words, whatever you are referring to is still under investigation. And it is for that reason that you don't want to publicly reveal the name, if I understand you correctly. This then satisfies the same requirements that was put forward before. Where I will disagree with you, advocate, is if we say to you, you must reveal the name, but you must reveal it to us in closed session because it is still under investigation, and you refuse at that point, then I will disagree with you. Because that would be you intentionally hampering us from doing our work. But if you are willing to reveal the name in closed session, that would be in line with our terms of reference. So, Chair, I support the position that the advocate must reveal the name. But if the advocate opts to do so in closed session, that is in line with our terms of reference, and she should be allowed to do that. Thank you, Chair.
Advocate Breitenbach.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I understand the need for the members to hear the names, and we all need to hear them. Advocate Batohi has made it quite clear that the person she is referring to has not necessarily been suspended for the facts that we are now talking about. And she doesn't have control over the investigation and the other agencies that are involved in, obviously involved in such an investigation. And so for her to sit here and publicly name people could not only undermine the investigation, but it could also undermine other agencies who are busy with important work. And so I would agree that she must be fully open and honest with this committee, but not in an open forum. And for the sake of progress, I think we should move on with everything else and then deal with this issue at the end and in a closed forum. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Sangwan.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. No, I think I've generally been covered by all the members who spoke and align myself with the recommendation on the closed session. Chair, because we were discussing this matter and we don't need an answer now, I can wait until we're questioning. But I'm hoping that Advocate Batohi is also going to give us the reasons why she recommended to the President that Advocate Chauke be suspended. I would appreciate that we get that. Thank you, Chair.
Bangazito.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. One, I actually wanted also to align myself with the shall I call the demand by this committee for the name to be actually mentioned. However, I do want to support Honorable Ngola in the proposal that he made, namely that perhaps at the end of this process, the NPA, whether it would still be Advocate Batohi or the new one, be able to actually supply us with the information related to the matter that we are dealing with right now, including the name. But I also am not comfortable if the advocate simply refuses to give the name, because names have actually been mentioned here. And Mkwanazi did not actually beat about the bush in saying categorically that within the NPA, there are elements that have actually compromised the operations of the criminal justice system. So we cannot be overprotective of individuals, because we might be protecting the very element that we need to know about and deal with. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, Chair. I was going to propose just a short adjournment for Advocate Batohi to confirm with counsel to consider making the disclosure in camera. Thank you.
No, I will grant you that time during the break, because I think we should go ahead with the work of the committee. Advocate, I think you hear the sentiment of the committee, that the committee, one of its terms of reference, which we read to you this morning, is that it is also investigating alleged corrupt relationship between officials in public institutions in the criminal justice system and members of the public. And if we are going to successfully do that work and report to Parliament, but also when I carefully listened to you when you made your opening statement, you say this ad hoc committee and the commission, the work that they do provide an opportunity for Parliament to make necessary interventions in the strengthening of the law that we have. So it's going to be very important that we have. Remember, the reason why we want the names is we have to decide on the witnesses that we invite before us here. And if we don't have those names, all these witnesses, the reason why the committee said the first witness must be General Mkwanazi was because we couldn't just sit like this and throw the bones on the floor and the bones will say there is an elephant here, there is a lion here, there is a porcupine here, you must call them before. General Mkwanazi came here and named institutions and mentioned names of officials, and we were able to make decisions on who we must invite, who must be a key witness, who is secondary witness, and the order in which those witnesses must appear before the committee. So I will take solace to what the SC says that during the break, I mean, when you come back from the break, you will give an answer as to how that name is going to be made available to the committee. And in this regard, I would like us to continue with the proceedings. Is that fine with you, Advocate?
Chair, it's a good first step. I will certainly confer with counsel during the break. Whether we'll be able to come back immediately or whether I need to get a proper legal opinion on this is something we will consider. But I really want to assure this House I do want to cooperate with this House. And I certainly do not want to be disrespectful. This is important work as you put out. So we will certainly look at how we can best deal with this issue. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Advocate Batohi. Can we perhaps just explore this very issue a bit further? What is the difference between the suspension of Advocate Chauke by the President? Is it because he's a DPP and this particular prosecutor is not?
Advocate Chauke has been suspended by the President because he is a DPP. That is correct.
So the suspension in this case would it have been effected by you? As the
Well, it
the
depends.
NDP?
As I said earlier, counsel, I don't want to say anything further because it could reveal the identity of the person.
Yeah, I'm just trying to explore what the reasons might be. I can understand from a reputational point of view that someone's name was still being accused, not be disclosed. But it is so that many names have been mentioned during the course of these hearings, and members understand it's on the basis that there are allegations. But there may be a different perception out there in the public that I can also understand. The other thing is this, you actually mentioned that the reason for the suspension is not related to what was mentioned to you by, I don't know, just you can correct me if I'm wrong, by Lieutenant General Khumalo and the National Commissioner. It is for some other reason.
That's correct.
Isn't that a reason why perhaps the name should be mentioned? Because I think the concern is that given that allegations have been made by, amongst others, Lieutenant General Khumalo and also the National Commissioner and Lieutenant General Konazi, that this appears to be a person who's been suspended, but not for the reasons that they allege. So why can't the name be mentioned?
For the same reasons that I mentioned earlier. And I'm not sure if you want me to repeat those.
No, that's fine.
Chair.
We did say that I think that the chair did point out that during the break you can consider your position and take legal advice and get a legal opinion if necessary. Because as you know, we in a different forum to the Madlanga Commission. You are also protected by parliamentary privilege. And it's parliamentary privilege is only lost if at the end of the day you are found to have lied or for some unlawful reason. So you are protected. So you are in a protected environment. You're not persuaded.
I'm in a protected environment. I'm trying to protect others.
Well,
for the reasons that I mentioned.